Hi!
Hi.
Hello.
And welcome to this the very first Patreon live session and Q&A for Panoptic 2. Glad to see some people in the chat. Yeah,
Is this sound?
yeah. First thing first, like
Yeah.
correct. Like, do you hear us? Like, is
Yeah.
everybody hearing us?
Everything is fine.
Everything's fine.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And so first off, like thanks for tuning in. And we hope you're like comfortably sitting or set up with your favorite snacks or beverage, and that you're ready to learn about what's been going on with us in the project for the like last month or
Yes.
something like this. And just try and stay focused. We're gonna try to organize this little presentation. First, of course, like this little welcomes segment for sure, and then we'll get into the Patreon update. So we wanted to give you a quick rundown of how that's going and where we're at in this regard. Then we're gonna focus on development news, which mean basically what have we been working on for the last month, and like what are the next steps for the game itself. And basically, there's going to be your view of how the everything is progressing towards the first alpha that we're going to release in a while. And then following that, we're going to tackle all the questions we receive from our Patreon supporters in Discord. If there's anything that pops into chat, we'll try to react when they come in. But if it's like questions, we can bundle with the rest of the question and answers. We'll do that
during the first live.
Exactly. And then finally, we'll have a couple small announcements to make. Nothing groundbreaking, but just like a little bit of housekeeping that we have to do. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into Patreon updates first. We're speed running the whole
question. Okay.
No. So first things first, we think a warm thank you is in order. So since last December, we've received a lot of encouraging messages about Panoptic, like basically everywhere where we announced the game, it's been met with nice reactions. And of course, like we're super excited to see like the support we've been getting over on the Patreon page. So what we're gonna show you now just as a way of having like some visual aid is mostly available on the Patreon page. At least the numbers are gonna be able to see them, but we figured it might be a good good reminder or just a good information.
And also because people that are not on the Patreon will see this video,
That's
they
for
can
sure.
have a hint about what.
Yeah, the text down under is not for the people listening live, of course.
It's not for you.
You know, but
it's for you who see the video, but not the stream.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's super.
Yeah, extremely clear. It's
like Tenet. You don't understand the first
the first time.
the first time.
But so let's show you some things if everything works. Oh, look at this fancy
Wow.
So this is just a graph.
You need to know that Bastien take a lot of time to prepare this stream, and then each time it's more beautiful than the previous time.
So imagine in 6 months, like it will be like a 3D
VR.
3D transitions in VR and stuff. Oh, doing a presentation in anyway. So this is the graph of the total amount of supporters we've gotten. So as you can see, the numbers have been going up slowly but surely, and that's really encouraging to see. And so we have like a total of 54 people in the Patreon, like 30 of which are free members and 24 are paid subscribers. So that's really great. One thing we can say is that we did the big announcement in December, but mainly in January, most of the additions we've seen over the Patreon are by word of mouth. So that's a clear sign that this is something that can really help if you're maybe not in a position to help or whatever. You can just talk about the game.
Please.
To friends or other people you see around on the internet that would be interested, because that's really like one of the biggest things you can do to help. As you can see, it does make a difference. Like the thing just goes up. Okay, next graph is going to be a bit less easy to parse. Yep, is there a remark?
So, yeah, Cody says that the audio is slightly root and leveling up and down on the volume when you speak softer and then project your voice.
Okay. So,
okay. I will use my teacher voice.
Yeah, we'll try to keep a more consistent level. But thank you. We will normalize everything after before publishing everything on YouTube. So hopefully, if you're watching this after the fact, it should be better. But we'll try to stay at a more consistent level.
Okay.
If that works, and I almost went into like softer voice again. So this graph that you see here, it's a bit harder to parse, but it is it is basically the number of patrons per tier. So you can see like that they're all, of course, like following the curve of the total number of patrons, and we're of course like extremely grateful to the generous overseers and watchers of this graph. But also, it's really cool to see that beings and challengers make up the majority of the support, because this is really where the long-term viability of something like a Patreon is. It's you always have like a few very extremely generous people, but if you cannot like rely only on that. You have to broaden the number of people who support it for it to be sustainable, and so that's the idea here. And to not have you make some mental math so that you can get a view of the numbers, this is the total support per month. So we're at 262 euros per month, which translates to around $30 US. 330.
Whoa!
Yeah,
dollar really.
Yeah, really
go down. Never.
But so yeah, no, it's 300 US. And as you can see, as I was saying, like it really like does add up like every bit of support. So it's really super cool to see. And finally, on the Patreon updates, we thought it would be fun to just take a look at some of the posts that we made to see what's the most interesting, apparently, to the community here on the site. And unsurprisingly, it's the devlogs that seems to have like been seen the most the most times. That's it. And that was to be expected. It's also some of the older posts, and like there is of course like more people seeing posts that have been out for longer. So that seems logical. But it's good to see that devlogs were kind of of interest. Sorry. Because we're cooking up a new one soon. We'll already get some news here in video format, but we'll also make a post for sometimes next week. So something else, yeah, about the devlog before I forget. We do plan them depending on what we're working on and what's going on in the team itself. But you can feel free to suggest topics that you would want to see in the logs. If we can accommodate that, like that might give us some inspiration, or just in general, it would be nice to give the people what they want, right? And speaking of devlogs, how about some great transition as we go into development update? So we've been busy, of course, since we finished the prototype that we showed last month, and we've basically been taking the lessons we've learned while doing that prototype and putting them in what will constitute the final version of the game eventually. But the idea is that we want to really build a solid base we can build off of. So right now there's not going to be. We're going to show you some pictures and some stuff, but it still is going to be a bit rough. This is going to change over the next few months until we release the first alpha. But it's the usual disclaimer. Everything you're gonna see is a prototype and is of course gonna change quite a lot. So let's see if this works. Yes. So this is gonna be a short like a video of two instances of the game running. And to start, I wanted to start with a little detail that you're gonna see here. I think I let it pass already. It's already too late, but that's fine. You might have seen on the video, but we did work on localization. So that's something that we started to do very early this time for Panoptic. It was implemented, I think,
At the end.
yeah, it was one of the last things we did before releasing, right?
Yes. Yeah, because we was like a very beginner. Yeah, you think you have time and it's okay, and it's hell to do at the end.
Yeah. Turns out that German is longer than you would think. And
yeah, and so on. This time we implement directly the localization, but the first. I don't think we will have so much language in the first prototype that we will deliver. French and English, probably. Yeah. If someone at some point want to help for the localization, Panoptic don't have so much text. It's not like a really text-based game. Then it's really easy to localize.
Yeah, but the idea is that we do want to be set up to make it happen like as the game develops and not wait until too late in the.
Yeah. And I don't want to have bad localization as we had for some of our game, because one of the publisher may translate in a lot of language, and sometimes for us it's impossible to check. And I was pretty sure, based on the French, that it was not that good in the other language. And I think you even if it's not a text-based video game, you lost a lot of quality because people don't understand, or it's messy.
Exactly.
I would like to have native or people speaking in the language checking the.
Yes, yeah. At least validating that everything is in order.
There is way to do that with the community.
So I'm gonna make the video continue playing. So what you're gonna see here is one of what was probably the main topic of development. It's of course the foundation of the networking system in the game. Basically, we had something working in the prototype. You've seen it. We've played it. We had the recording of it. You can go watch the archive on YouTube if you want. But it was sort of the Wild West, meaning that sometimes you would be working on a feature and then you would end up in the same testing room as somebody else, and so you would have two overseers not understanding really why they were both in the level at the same time. It was chaos. You had to change the room after each playtest because sometimes there was some like remains of a connection or whatever. So basically, we took all the lessons we learned from this, knowing that it was possible to do, and we rebuilt a more sane foundation.
I have a little story about that, because I was working on a hostel, because I was not on the early days, but so I was working on an hostel, and at some point I was like on the scene, and one of the beings start to move without I did something. It was like I would say, okay, there is a ghost on my machine, and then the next time was the overseer. I said, okay. Then I start to message Charlotte. Say, do you work on? Do you remember the fact that you say we need to be on the same Wi-Fi? It's not true. We are not on the same Wi-Fi, and I saw your overseer moving.
So
then we find a solution.
Yeah, and so now this is much more civilized. So what you see here in the video is basically the setup process. Of course, with the temporary UI again, where one player is going to be able to create the room, and the other people are going to be able to join. And so we generate some sort of friend code that you can give to your friends or enemies. You can play with whomever you want, but you can get them to join the same room as you. And you can also set some parameters. For example, you might have seen you can set a number of players. It's minimum 2, but right now we haven't capped really the maximum, but we're gonna do that.
There is a maximum. It's 8 for now.
Yeah, but it's yeah. So
it's because we need to put a limit, but
yeah.
And also I think it will be easier for the more there is challenger, more it's easier for the viewers. I need to shoot.
Yes, it's
sometimes it's a challenger.
Yeah, it's like at some point statistically you're gonna like have more chances to get. But you're gonna be able to tweak some stuff. One of the rules that you can tweak already is the number of respawn for the challengers. And the idea is to have the system already in place so that when we introduce new rules or new game modes or new variants of options, we can put them in the same system and have it work the same way as just a number of respawns. So it's a simple rule at the beginning, but it's gonna lay the groundwork.
And we will probably do like for the first Panoptic, we want to make the games as more configurable.
Yeah, configurable.
Configurable as is possible, because it's a party game. Then you choose the rules, and one of the things that we think about, maybe we can it's probably at some point propose some set of rules like team Panoptic rules or something like that.
Yeah, basically we're all actually I don't know. Have you ever played Smash Brothers?
No.
Or not? No.
I
So
haven't.
I was gonna go on the limb and say the studio like we were most of us big fan of Smash Bros, but that's too cavalier. So some of us in the studio are big fans of Smash Bros.
We need to play Smash Bros with you.
Yes.
That would be
I
good.
want to.
Anyway, but so yeah, the idea is that in that game you can save game setups basically, and you can reuse them to play like in tournaments, or just basically if you always play with the same set of constraints with your group of friends, then we want you to be able to save like those options and play with them again. So that's the idea. Okay, so something else we've worked. So this is just for illustration's sake. It's sort of the same flow, but in VR. Just to show you that yes, the game still works in VR. I mean, we're nothing if ready for good news here, right? Like it's
yeah.
But so the idea here is that we've also been working on so not only the login flow and everything, but also the character controller. So not going into every detail here because that's more the subject for written post maybe at some point. But both for the Challenger and the Overseer, we have a fairly robust system that we are putting in place, where we have the character that you see. We call this like puppets, and then you actually have the players working as puppet masters, if you want. So the idea is that we can then combine different sort of control schemes with different players. The simplest example is that when you play locally, you are using your keyboard and your mouse to control a challenger, for example. But on the computer of somebody else, the same challenger has to be moved just by the networking system, right? It just use the same info that comes from the networking code and moves the character. But it's also the same with, for example, the Overseer. The Overseer, locally you record your position with your the head movements in the headset, and then we're using that movement to then move a mask, and that's like those two things have to be separated, and we can then swap. So we don't want anything to hamper us if we want to try, let's say, a simulator to make to make the Overseer works by itself, or if you wanted to make a VR controller for the Challenger. We want to be able to test this, not to say that everything is going to be included, but just we want to be able to do it and test it and submit it for your consideration down the line. And so that's been a big part of the work. So again, not extremely visible stuff. It's not really like visually impressive, but it's very important for the health of the code base and the game itself. And finally, we did say we have some pretty pictures, so let's see some of them. The eagle-eyed amongst you might recognize the new level that we're building, and these are some shots taken very recently by River, who's hard at work taking Lucas assets and Charlotte's level design, and basically merging the two. So we're refining the art style. If you're familiar with Panoptic One, you're going to see that it's similar, like it's the same vibe, but not exactly the same. There's a lot of different sensibilities and changes in the details, but we want to recapture the same sort of mood as Panoptic One, but progress the art style further. So that's what's one of the things we're looking at, to basically get a first full map that looks good and is nice to play before we release it. Right? I think that is mostly it for development updates. So hopefully, we like next time we speak, we will have not hopefully we will have more stuff to show. hopefully we don't forget to work for a month. No, where
That's what we need to do.
no, but we'll continue working. We're still on track for now for Q1 release of the alpha, and we'll get into that a little bit in the next section when we talk about the question and answers. We'll talk about the questions and then give you the answers. But we figured we would read the questions one after each other. Do you want to read the first one?
Let's do this, yeah. Okay, so Silhouette was pretty rad. Thank you. Will hand tracking be a part of Panoptic 2?
What do you think? Should we put hand tracking in Panoptic 2?
I don't think so.
This has not been weird, but no, but yeah. So there's no plan to add.
Look at this hero here. He don't have hand.
That is true.
Then no hand tracking.
Yeah.
Head tracking.
Head tracking for sure, but
no hand tracking.
Yeah, there is nothing to again like it's gonna be the same refrain every time. Like there's no never say never basically. So if there is a very compelling use case for hand tracking, it might be. But for now, it's already hard enough to aim with your head. That's like having to finagle with like gestures and everything would be maybe a bit hard. So we're going with controllers for now at the very least. Okay, so do you want to read the next one?
No.
You can improvise a question.
Okay. What platform are you targeting Panoptic 2 for? Steam VR, Quest 2, Quest 3. That's the question.
Yeah. So we're targeting everybody. No, we're targeting mainly Quest 3 and Steam VR for the first release of the game. We're gonna test it on Quest 2 as well. But it's sort of the same as what we discussed with the mobile version last time, where we made some tests. We're gonna take a look at it, but since those are lower powered platforms, we're gonna check if it's feasible, and we're not gonna basically delay the release of the first alpha for those platforms. We're gonna look at them. Same thing as we're gonna look at the Steam Frame when it comes out, as well as the Steam Deck for the Challenger version.
Depend how many. For example, for the Steam Deck, we can try to put just a version, and if it's work correctly, we can it will be nice to have that on the Steam Deck, but we'll not make specific work for Steam Deck for Q1.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes. But long term, it's definitely like all the current headsets will be. We're gonna target them. We'll see if we make it, but at least that's the plan. Okay. Well, I guess since I've been holding the tablet each time I pass it along, so.
Do you have an FAQ anywhere that might contain answers to these sorts of questions? Soon enough.
Soon enough. That's correct.
Yes, we're working on it. Let's say that.
Yeah, if you've been on the Team Panoptic website, you've seen it's not like the greatest, I would say.
Yeah, that's a euphemism.
So there's definitely like room for improvement, and where but
it's a castle for improvement, if you ask me.
A castle for improvement. But so yeah, we'll see how we can make that happen. for now, the fact is going to be these videos, but we're going to try and whip up something where we can, if we see the same questions are coming back again. Some might say if they get asked frequently, we can add them to a running list somewhere.
Yeah, that's the fact is something that you ask frequently,
Exactly.
Yeah.
but we don't have some question that people ask frequently.
That is
Yet.
true. Yet. So the next one is
Can I wishlist Panoptic 2 on Steam or MetaQuest? No, yet. not yet. We need to do the page. Basically, we don't really like having just. We want to something really that's some present well, and we not have enough material to put in the page, because if we put that on the page, people will laugh about the game because they are not Patreon, they don't know about the game, and then it can be what to say that putting a page on Steam and so on can be really rough, and you don't want to receive bad comments and so on. Then we want to have a good page, not the best page ever, but at least a looking good one page.
good enough.
Same for Horizon Metal.
Yeah, the store. It's basically yeah. It comes down to what Thomas said. Like we're guessing that probably once we're nearing the alpha stage, the first alpha stage, where we're gonna have some stuff to show. But yeah, before that, it's a little bit early.
No.
We skipped a couple, so this one.
Have you considered mixed reality? We insert that, no?
No. It's big.
I'm sorry.
I tried to scroll to make it the first unanswered question appear, but I should not have.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So, okay, I will read that one. Is that okay?
Sure.
What will be the noticeable changes in Panoptic from Panoptic 1?
Aha. What would you say is the biggest noticeable change between 1 and 2?
Multiplayer.
Not multiplayer. Yes.
Yeah.
Not local
PC.
multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And also multiple challenger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, I think the 4v1 and the online are the two main departure from the original. The rest of it, of course, like art style is gonna change, and the mechanics are gonna be different because we're gonna do the heist, the mask heist thing and everything. So there's gonna be a lot of changes, but those two are the main, like the biggest departures probably. Okay. We tried to skip this one. I think we have to answer it.
This one, which
No,
one?
number 4.
Number 4. No, I will read the number 3 because we don't have the.
Okay, sure.
No, okay. I will because it's a question basically for me. Have you released a production timeline yet? And the person that put the question says, I feel naughty asking this one, and I know the person, and I confirm it's naughty to ask that. We have a production line for the first release, then the release on Q1. We will talk about that later. I don't have a production line for the rest of the production because we are a really small studio and it's really difficult to do a production line. Basically, if we have someone sick or someone going need to going somewhere for a long time, we take 1 or 2 weeks. We delay 1 or 2 weeks, and then it's difficult to say okay, we will have a definitive production line. I will make a production line for each snapshot, then, and I can try to publish that at some point, maybe for the second snapshot.
So yeah, so there is actually we had discussed this before, and we had plans to not open the tools we're using for task tracking, but maybe part of it. So basically, once things are getting a bit settled, we were discussing maybe for the last few steps for people to have an idea of what's coming. That could be, but we don't know exactly how or.
We don't know exactly how yet.
Yes. We do, however, have a couple of targets in mind because I think it's fair to say that even if we cannot release like a Gantt chart or everything, we still have we're expecting to test the game in a prototype form. So not the same prototype that we did last time. This is getting confusing, but basically a early version of the alpha that's gonna end up in
Pre-alpha.
release, a pre-alpha, if you will. Around
The 28th of February. It's not around. It's
yeah, on the 28th. Yeah.
of February because there is an event on Belgium named Anima, and during this event we have a meetup, game dev meetup named Brotaru, and during this meetup we will present the game. I confirmed that yesterday to the organizer. Then we need to be there.
Yeah.
With pre-alpha. And if the pre-alpha, if after that we judge that the pre-alpha is showable,
Yeah.
we will and playable, we will send that to the Patreon that have the tier for receive the alpha. Then I think it's
The
watcher and
no the prototype.
the prototype. Yes.
So basically all the patrons that have access to the prototypes would get that pre-alpha, and all the patrons who have access to the actual the like alpha releases of the game, like the proper releases of the game, would get it a bit later once we finish. Like that would be basically be the very first release that we do is like this pre-alpha for the higher tiers of patrons, and then for the
when we are sure that everything is okay, and it will be for every Patreon that have the release, pre-release. Then I think it's orbs. No, not after orbs.
beings.
Beings.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go. Bear with us while we get fully sorted on all the
You need to know that each time that we have a new Patreon, I need to think, okay, what he needs to have, and I go back to the membership, and okay, you need to have that, and that. Even if Patreon helps you a lot to track what you give to the people, sometimes you are pretty lost.
Okay, want to do this one? Three.
Okay. Have you considered mixed reality with Panoptic 2? No, we have not.
Yeah.
And no, we will not.
Whoa,
Whoa.
fighting words!
I don't know.
Sorry.
You need to know that you cannot say never with Bastia.
this is kind of true, but no, we've not considered it, but we've discussed it. So basically, one of the things we've investigated prior to making the actual prototype of Panoptic 2 was mixed reality platformer. Like we were doing basically another project which was asymmetric platforming game where the flat screen players could see the room of the VR person because we were like it was only on Quest 3, but you could like send the mesh over and have a playground that was actually the shape of the room of the other person. This was a lot of fun, and so we discussed it and we were like, oh, maybe it could be cool to have a mode where you have some sort of level that's inside your room as the overseer, and you would see it in mixed reality, and then the PC player would get like just the mesh, like they were in that big cavern that's actually your room. But one reason we're not like going super hard on that idea quite yet is that it would be basically Quest 3 exclusive. We could maybe do like some sort of approximation in Quest 2 with the basic room scanning that they have, but it's really not great. We don't know yet what the other headsets are gonna do, and so for sake of compatibility and making sure the game can run on as many platforms as it can, we are not like doing it at least right now. It's in the back of our mind because mixed reality is pretty cool, but yeah, we're not really considering it right now as a viable option.
Then no and no was
Yeah, it was
a quick.
It was
Yeah, it was a quick, just
a
a
shortcut. Let's
just
say.
a sous if you want. That's it. Okay, let's go. Okay, this one.
This one.
The first one visible on the list.
Okay. Will Panoptic to have regular/irregular update with new maps or things like that, or will be it will be released totally finished? No. No. The answer is we will not. First, we will not release the Panoptic totally finished because we have this Patreon. Then we want to share the early access with you, and also we will then propose to irregular update. I don't want to say regular update because, as I just said before, we are a small team, and if there is some trouble during the one of release, and it will quickly become irregular. Then I prefer to tell you it will be irregular. Bastien propose regularly irregular.
Yeah, or frequent but irregular.
Frequently,
but
but not regular.
Mhm.
It's makes sense.
Yeah, it's basically several times we've been for other projects as well, being like, oh, we'll do a release every 2 weeks or something like
We
this.
did that last for Panoptic one.
Yeah, but at some
It was
point,
hell.
but it was really hard on us, and we ended up not doing this for a long time. Like it slipped, and then it.
Yeah.
So definitely updates. We'll make them as often as it makes sense, but we're not committing to any schedule right now.
But
basically,
when we have a calendar, we can share with you, and soon as we reach a point, we will announce it and so on, and we can say, oh, it will be for Q3, Q4.
Yeah, and it's also why these live sessions are going to happen is for us to have an occasion to tell you all about it and let you know.
It's Panoptic Direct.
Yeah, it's actually just we're just as well organized and planned and professional as them, so we're basically the same. Okay, so next one.
Do you plan on adding other game modes? Yes.
No influence there, like no external influence, but no, but yeah, we do. What they are gonna be, it's gonna depend. Where of course, like always, welcoming suggestions, but there's always already been talk in the studio about like a hot potato mode with the special mask where you have like you don't want to keep it, and so you want to give it to the other challenger, and you're just trying to zap all of you in the meantime. There's
two overs here against multiple challenger.
A traitor mode where one of the challengers is working with the overseer. Like there's a whole bunch of.
And I was a watcher.
Yeah, remove the mask. But so definitely this stuff like this that's planned. Again, this is a down the line thing. We're first going to focus on the main game loop, but then definitely it's something we want to add. The lower end of that spectrum is going to be what Thomas was referring to earlier, which is the options, the game options you can do, and upper echelon is sky's the limit. It's like 4 overseer versus 1 challenger. I don't know, like whatever the case may be.
4 overseers against 1 challenger. Poor challenger.
Yeah, poor challenger, right?
It's a bully mode.
Now I'm gonna quickly go through like some suggestions that we got as well, because we think it's a good idea to basically run them up and use them as question more or less. So there was first a suggestion that or a question that will there be customization in the mask that you wear as a challenger or overseer? Because it could be cool to have a list of several of them you could pick before the level starts. Which is nice, especially because Lucael has so many strong IDs. So thank you very much. It was very nice to read. But yeah, that's again an idea. We made it happen when we introduced the holiday mode in Panoptic. So when you can have the challengers be with the scarves and the overseer with the
Challenger
Christmas tree.
have not
No, not a
scarf,
scarf.
have
A sweater.
cute sweater, Christmas sweater.
That is true. But so definitely, this is something we're thinking about. But we have to take into consideration the actual game design because if everybody can have a special like a different mask, then how do you hide in the crowd? Because like you want your customization to be visible to other players, but at the same time you don't want to stand out in the crowd like the only one. So this is definitely something we're thinking about. We'll definitely try something, but there's definitely stuff going on. I see some stuff popping in the chat.
Yeah,
Yes,
Cody proposed have subtle change. But
Like you have
even
like an earring on the side of the mask.
yeah, but even if it's
Mhm.
subtle,
Subtle.
subtle, it's difficult to. It can be an advantage for the overseer and for the challengers too, because we was thinking about okay, the maybe the overseer will not see the difference, but if the challenger knows that the challenger saw someone that is in the same what's say that costume mode than him, he will know that it's not him, and then he will know that it's not a challenger.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, there's definitely things to think about, but it is on our mind, for sure. So we had another suggestion that says like please increase the hitbox for the orbs, so the spamming of the action key isn't as necessary to interact with the orb on the sweet spot. That's definitely something like there's a few usability thing we saw in Panoptic. First, a lot of people were like hitting the E key repeatedly, whereas you can just hit it once and then the thing takes a few seconds to explode. All that kind of feedback is, of course, very welcome, and we're going to make sure that it's clear that you did something. It was a bit subtle.
because people think that they need to hold the E.
Yeah.
We will make the thing happen, and we need to hold the E.
Yeah. So we'll
That's a joke.
Yeah.
But,
we'll see how to make that very clear. Have an obvious way for fans to make their own maps and then add them to the game as a modded map folder. Funny story, there was an attempt at making that happen for Panoptic. 2021?
2021.
Yeah. So we had some sort of stuff going. The game was really not made for this, so it was really hard to make it happen. So it ended up being shelved when we were working on Silhouette. But this is top of mind for sure, and we're making sure to architecture like the game so that we can make that happen. So we can have like levels that are loaded from extra packs and or from people making the levels. The way the levels are going to be edited, that's still to be decided. We have some stuff cooking about like how you could handle the NPC navigation because it was very hard to do in the first Panoptic. We had some tools, but it was a whole learning curve. So it was a specific tool for Panoptic. Now we're trying to make it a bit more organic. Like basically, you have some elements. You change the map, and that will adapt the NPCs at the same time. So definitely it's something that's very high on our wish list. But yeah, again, probably not a thing for the first alpha. For the first alpha, we're just gonna have the one map, but down the line, it's the game is made to support that. Difficulty setting for the watchers to not detect you if you are copying the movement of the other mask wearers perfectly, such as the conveyor belt level where you stand still and pass underneath them. A way to subvert the watchers would be fantastic. Make it hard though. Turns out you No, right. You were detected on the conveyor belt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you always detected on the conveyor belt because it's the blue watcher.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
There is two type of watcher in Panoptic. One, you have the blue watcher and the yellow watcher. The yellow watcher are optional. You can remove it or put it more on level. And the blue watcher are always there because they are part of the game design, and they always notice you when you enter in their field view.
Yeah. But they're stationary yet.
They stationary. No, they are stationary until
they
they
yeah.
spot you.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, but so definitely like interaction with the watchers and even like maybe other types of NPCs is something we want to revisit. We had other ideas again for Panoptic One that we want to put back in the mix maybe. So there's definitely like we plan on making the interactions richer with all of them. So we're reaching almost the end. So there's a control. Please have a control bind swapping in case you have like carpal tunnel syndrome and have to use other button instead of the grip button. For sure, this is again like we use a system now in Unity which lets you rebind the keys more easily. So we're definitely surface that not only for the challenger like we did in the first game, but also for the overseer. And there's going to be ways to adapt and make it comfortable for most people. And we will again take the design philosophy of trying to limit the movement you have to do. So basically, it's going to be an extra tool for you, but you will be able to play most like map seated or at least very easily. Okay, so controller support such as Xbox or PlayStation controller. This is the case for the challenger already. So we definitely going to pour that over to the new game. But the if you were if the person asking was asking about for the overseer, that's a good thing that we have not thought about. Like we know that the early Oculus you had Xbox controllers. There's maybe a way to still use that. So we definitely would have to think about it to see like if it's even feasible. But yeah, if
Maybe.
I think on PC would be feasible because you would have the controller would be plugged on the PC and then you would just play like this. Just not sure on the Quest how it's done now. So.
I don't know. I definitely don't know.
But yeah, but again, like it's if you can make the thing.
I don't think we will have that for the Q1.
Oh, for sure, no. I don't repeat it every time, but that's for sure. Like it's a lot of these like extra things will come like down the line once we like for example when we do the menu for the rebinding, then we will do the investigation at that point. Okay, so there was a proposal about like adjustable challenge levels per map. So such as like more orbs, a specific orb order. We'll definitely yonk the term orber as the order of orbs. It's kind of a tongue twister, but okay. Or having ways to skew the difficulty either side. Again, this is something we sort of had in Panoptic One in some limited ways. You could make the overseer shoot faster. You could make
overseer shoot faster. Overseer have limited error. Then he cannot shoot. You can choose how many times he can shoot a non-challenger being. You can add some watcher and then the game become more difficult for the challenger. Most of the time it's people prefer to put to make the game more difficult for the overseer. But yeah, we will definitely doing that again.
Yeah, for sure. Then there's like a proposal for challenge modes, like modes that would involve changing the challenger to be more obvious than usual. For example, like a big head mode or something like this, like something where, but maybe we would run faster or jump higher or something to make it hard to blend in, but also give you more chance to avoid the laser. Maybe have some wacky power-ups like turn into like a scenery object and and hide like prop hunts or something like this. Again, this goes with the same thing we explained with the other game modes. This is not off the table for sure. We realized that the way people were playing Panoptic One was maybe not the I'm not going to say not the way we have envisioned it at the very beginning, but to be quite honest, Panoptic one was a bit more serious from the start. Like we were like, oh, like this big like this monumental architecture and whatever. We thought like people would like try to dig into the lore. Turns out no, it's mostly families and couples and group of friends just having fun shooting each other with the laser, which makes sense. Like now in hindsight, you're like, yeah, for sure, that's all people would play. But definitely we're embracing it a bit more this time around. So we're gonna still keep the serious tone of the game. We think it fits the aesthetics and everything, but we want to offer ways for people to just have fun. And so definitely that could be a fun thing where you have like over time maybe like your head grows and some stuff like this. Anyway, and finally, there's an award for successfully completing a run as a changer 20 times, such as a golden mask that makes you extremely obvious to the overseer. Of course, this is the same, sort of the same idea. If we have customizable mask or we have like a hard challenge mode, this could definitely be something going on. We're most probably gonna do achievements at some points, the same way we did it with the first one. We see no reason not to do that. And if there's a way to tie them to some small stuff inside the game, that can be fun, like for sure. But again, like no firm plan is gonna depend on what makes sense.
But also a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, right. It's that's always
People didn't find the first Easter egg.
yeah. it's fine. We'll tell the patrons about it.
Yeah. At some point, it's.
Look at that. The time is flying, and actually, I should have done this earlier. And that wraps up like all the questions that we have. I don't know if anything popped in the chat that we need to answer now.
No questions.
No.
Let me check.
Some. Cody says that Traitor mode is so good. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
And no, I don't see.
Yeah.
Okay, but then we can move on to the last part, which is going to be short and sweet. We have a couple announcements to make. First is a personal announcement, because we've been joined by an intern. First intern, we usually have around 2 interns near the beginning of the year.
One, yeah, next month.
So you'll see some new heads, but we have somebody off camera who might want to come and say hello.
Okay.
Yes.
I will
No.
move.
Oh, definitely.
Well, it's okay.
You can.
Hello.
Yeah. This is good.
I'm the intern.
Yes.
No.
There you go. Okay, so sorry, Estelle.
Hello, I'm the intern. Nice to say hi. My name's Estelle. I'm from the course that Team Panoptic teaches, so I'm specialized in Unity and C#, and I'm here to help develop the game. And it's very cool because since we're setting up the whole game, it's very close to what we did for our own end of training projects. So I'm learning a lot of things, applying things that I know, and trying to not trying to do things properly.
I'm doing a good job so
I
far.
have hello from the chat and greetings.
And great.
So yeah, so there you go. So so you've been working so far on.
I've been working on setting up the levels, how they're loaded, how the elements in them are initialized, and then at what point they become active, and then how we manage them after we exit the level. I'm working on a basic sort of laser for the overseer, so we can check that everything works. And I'm also working on how the game ends, and how you announce to each side whether they've won, whether that's tracked, and where the game goes from there.
So again, as you see, like a lot of stuff that's quite important for the overall flow of the game, and which is gonna make it easy to build the rest of it. So great, perfect. What else? We did the other announcement, which was the Brotaru thing. So in case anybody is in Brussels, you can check for Brotaru at Anima and come see us
28th.
On the 28th of February. We'll post the some info on our Discord if you want to be there. But that's it. And expect shortly after the first prototype release, as we said there. And again, like we're still on track for Q1. So if you were waiting for a firm date on this, it's we don't have an exact date in Q1 to let you know. But yeah, I'm now looking at Thomas like
Yeah.
but so yeah, so this is definitely going to be depending on the state and the bugs that we found on that playtest. We'll adjust the schedule, but still should be Q1. And yeah, that's it. We'll see another new face next month probably when we're joined by somebody else again. I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. I don't know if there's one last question from the chat or any
there is
remark.
someone typing. Okay.
So you're welcome. Thanks a lot for joining. So you should.
Yeah, I will.
We should scoot over so you
Yep.
can come on,
I will.
so you can
Be back.
you can be there. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
One thing that we didn't mention it's that we talk about the game, but about the Patreon we need to thank Reshma to be there. It's Reshma behind the Patreon. This is her that make the things, schedule the things and organize the things. That's yeah. Big thanks to Reshma for that. Big thanks to the team for the making the game happen. River, Local, Charlotte, and Estelle. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's good.
And thank you for supporting us.
Yes, and we'll announce the next one soon. But do we have a date already?
Oh, yeah. It's the 18th of February because it's always the second, no, third Wednesday of the month.
And for this is why I am not the producer.
I will check.
But,
I will check before ending, but yes, I'm. Yeah, it's the 8th live. It's in the next session.
Fantastic. So 18th of February,
Same time.
same time, same place.
Say
Yeah,
date.
more news. Bye.